Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the constant demands of life? We live in a world where we are expected to care about so many things: our careers, relationships, social status, and the opinions of others. But what if I told you that the key to finding peace might be simply not caring? Today, we're diving into the thought-provoking philosophy of Michel de Montaigne, a 16th century French philosopher who introduced us to the power of self-reflection and letting go of unnecessary worries. Montaigne's life and ideas were ahead of his time, and he gave us a radical way to look at life, one that is as relevant today as it was then. Michel de Montaigne is best known for his collection of essays in which he explored human nature, personal introspection, and society's demands. In his writing, Montaigne often reflected on how we, as human beings, are constantly caught up in the pursuit of things outside our control. His famous quote, "The greatest thing in the world is to know how to belong to oneself," speaks volumes about the importance of self-acceptance and detachment from external pressures. So, if you've ever felt like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, Montaigne's philosophy might be just what you need to hear today. In this video, we'll explore how Montaigne's idea of stopping caring isn't about apathy or neglecting others, but about finding inner peace through self-reflection and detachment from the trivialities of life. By the end of this, you'll understand how releasing the need for validation and external success can lead to a more fulfilling and peaceful existence. Montaigne's concept of self-reflection. Montaigne's philosophy revolves around one powerful tool: self-reflection. He believed that in order to truly understand the world around us, we must first understand ourselves. Montaigne's essays delve deeply into the human experience, our flaws, strengths, and the intricacies of our emotional lives. But perhaps his most significant contribution is his emphasis on the importance of reflecting on our own thoughts and actions. For Montaigne, self-reflection wasn't just an occasional activity, it was a way of life. He encouraged people to step back and examine their thoughts, to question their motives, and to explore their feelings. Montaigne once said, "I am myself the matter of my book," suggesting that we, as individuals, are the best subjects to examine. In his view, self-reflection allowed us to separate ourselves from the distractions of the world and find clarity within. When you reflect deeply on your thoughts and actions, you begin to detach from the chaos around you. You stop caring about the things that don't matter. And this is where Montaigne's philosophy intersects with the concept of not caring. Self-reflection is the first step toward understanding that much of what we worry about is external. By focusing inward, we learn what truly matters to us and what we can let go of. Take, for example, how often we find ourselves caring about things that others think about us, our social media presence, our reputation, and the expectations of friends, family, or colleagues. Through self-reflection, Montaigne would argue that we realize that these are not things we should anchor our self-worth on. When we reflect on what is truly important, we find that peace comes from within. The idea of not caring what Montaigne really meant. When Montaigne talks about not caring, he doesn't mean ignoring the world or becoming indifferent to the needs of others. Instead, he's referring to releasing the attachment to things that are outside our control. So, when he says stop caring, he's really telling us to stop investing so much energy in things that don't contribute to our happiness, well-being, or growth. In Montaigne's view, this is a form of liberation. We live in a society that constantly tells us what we should care about, what we should achieve, what success looks like, and how we should behave. But Montaigne encourages us to step back and assess. Is this truly important? Do I need this to feel validated? A good example of this is seen in his own life. Montaigne lived in a time of political and social upheaval. His family was caught up in the religious wars of France, and yet, he chose to withdraw into the seclusion of his estate. He didn't care about the politics or the opinions of others. Instead, he focused on his own mind, his own understanding of life, and his personal growth. Montaigne believed that when you detach yourself from society's expectations, you can lead a life that is more true to yourself. This philosophy resonates with many people today who feel trapped by the pressure to conform or to meet societal standards of success. Whether it's striving for a perfect career, a perfect family, or a perfect social media image, we often find ourselves overburdened by these external demands. Montaigne would argue that the freedom we seek comes not from achieving these external ideals, but from freeing ourselves from the need to care about them. How modern life tells us to care too much. In today's world, the pressure to care about everything seems greater than ever. Social media, advertisements, and society constantly push us toward a life filled with accomplishments, possessions, and popularity from the moment we wake up. We're told we need to care about our appearance, our job, how we present ourselves, and how others perceive us. This constant bombardment of messages tells us that we should care deeply about things that are often fleeting and superficial. Montaigne's philosophy challenges this mindset. He would argue that much of what we care about today is irrelevant to our well-being. The endless race for material success, validation, and recognition only adds to our anxiety and stress. In his time, Montaigne witnessed similar pressures, people striving for status, wealth, and power. He observed that these pursuits often led to emptiness rather than fulfillment. Consider the rise of success culture on platforms like Instagram and LinkedIn. People post their achievements, their perfect photos, and their glamorous lifestyles. Yet, behind this curated image, there is often a sense of emptiness. Montaigne's philosophy offers a different perspective, one that says true fulfillment comes not from seeking validation from others, but from caring less about external approval. When we stop caring about external validation, we create space to focus on what truly matters: our relationships, our passions, and our inner peace. In a world that tells us to care about everything, Montaigne's words ring louder than ever. To live is not to care about everything. It is to care about the right things. The power of acceptance and detachment. One of the most powerful ideas in Montaigne's philosophy is the notion of acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. Rather, it's about coming to terms with the reality of our situation. It's about recognizing that we cannot control everything and learning to let go of the things that cause us unnecessary stress. Take the example of failure. In today's world, failure is often viewed as something to be avoided at all costs. But Montaigne argued that failure is a natural part of life and should not be feared. In fact, it's through accepting failure and learning from it that we grow stronger. The key to this is detachment, the ability to step back and view life's challenges without becoming emotionally entangled in them. In practical terms, this means letting go of the obsession with perfection. Whether it's at work, in relationships, or in personal projects, we often put immense pressure on ourselves to achieve flawless results. Montaigne would encourage us to accept imperfections and focus on doing our best, rather than obsessing over the outcome. An example of this philosophy in action can be seen in the world of art. Many great artists, writers, and innovators have faced rejection and failure. However, it's through accepting these setbacks that they were able to continue creating and evolving. The key is to detach from the fear of failure and focus on the process itself. Practical ways to apply Montaigne's philosophy. You might be wondering, how can I start applying Montaigne's philosophy to my life? Here are some practical ways to do just that. First, practice mindfulness. Take time every day to reflect on your thoughts and feelings. When you notice yourself getting caught up in the pressures of life, stop and ask, is this really worth my energy? Being present in the moment can help you detach from unnecessary worries. Second, let go of the need for external validation. This is one of Montaigne's central ideas. Whether it's approval from your boss, your friends, or your followers, try to find fulfillment in who you are, rather than seeking constant reassurance from others. Third, embrace imperfection. You don't have to be perfect to live a meaningful life. Montaigne would encourage you to take risks, make mistakes, and learn from them, rather than striving for unattainable perfection. Lastly, set boundaries. Protect your time and energy. By not caring about everything, you allow yourself to care more deeply about what truly matters. Conclusion: the freedom that comes with letting go. To wrap up, Montaigne's philosophy teaches us that true freedom and peace come when we stop caring about things that don't align with our values. By letting go of the constant need for approval, success, and perfection, we free ourselves from the anxiety and pressure that come with living up to society's expectations. Montaigne believed that once we stop caring about external validation, we begin to live authentically and in alignment with who we truly are. This doesn't mean we should neglect responsibilities or ignore the needs of others. It simply means that we can release the unnecessary burdens that weigh us down, things that, in the grand scheme of life, do not contribute to our happiness or well-being. When we prioritize what truly matters to us, our personal growth, our inner peace, and our relationships, we find a deeper sense of fulfillment. Montaigne's philosophy encourages us to embrace the imperfections of life, accept ourselves as we are, and find contentment in the present moment. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed by the constant rush to achieve more, remember Montaigne's wisdom. True peace comes when we stop caring about everything and start caring about what really matters. By focusing on our own personal growth, reflection, and inner peace, we can create a life that is more meaningful and fulfilling.